iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Welcome in here, race fans, to the Dega Super Speedway, home to some of the fastest cars. That's the fastest track in North America. My name is Roger Muth. I'm joined here tonight in the virtual Turn 3 Racing Studio booth by my good friend David Worrell. Dave, we're here at the Talladega Super Speedway. It's the NASCAR Cup machines that are out there on the track as which these drivers will be racing tonight. And tonight we go racing in honor of a friend here on the Turn 3 Racing Network and a friend to all the drivers out there. We stand behind Pedro and Dave. Welcome to the booth. It's going to be a great one here tonight.
Absolutely is, Roger. Gonna put some of these drivers to the test, not used to being out there 2-3 wide here at Talladega just yet. Some of them just breaking into the iRacing game. Some of them some familiar faces, and they're going to be in familiar places looking for the front of the field. Going to be an interesting night here. Just 70 laps for these drivers to try to get to victory lane. We'll see who can battle and get to the top of the speedway.
It's going to be a game of who is your friend, who is your partner, that is for sure. We will see that here tonight at the Talladega Super Speedway. And remember, race fans, when it comes down to race time, the start-finish line is not in the tri-oval. It's about 3 football fields down the way, headed down towards turn number 1. That is where we will find the start-finish line here tonight at the Talladega Super Speedway. But we talked about drivers that are here from the iRacing ranks. There's drivers here from a couple different divisions here in iRacing. We have the Swift Motorsports group. They are represented very heavily. We have the Salt Flat Racing Stables. They are sitting here with quite a few drivers on the docket here tonight, and then we have some special guests here. We have Bobby Peters out of the Starcoin Fiber team. He is here tonight, and I believe we have another special guest out there. I believe I saw her pop in here, Dave, somewhere.
Yeah, actually making her way off of pit road, getting up to speed down on the apron right now, around through the center of 1 and 2. The 12 of Stephanie Moyer here is an ARCA Menard Series driver in real life, so making the changeover here tonight. She's going to put her real life skills on display here in the virtual world.
Well, that's interesting to bring the real world side of things in here. That's going to bring a little bit more of excitement for a lot of these drivers to see if they can go ahead and compete with, well, a professional race car driver here tonight. So we wish Stephanie Moyer the best, and we should see if, well, which one of these guys can go ahead and beat her. We told you, though, that we have another special guest here tonight. This is the driver of the 00 here tonight. You're going to see on screen in the timing and scoring, he's listed as the 00, but in his car, it is the number 57. That is the driver out of the Starcoin Fiber organization, the mane and tail. Richmar Floristry also on board here tonight. That is Bobby Peters. He's coming out here. I don't believe he's going to get quite a lap turned in here tonight before the end of our qualifying session. But Bobby Peters and his Starcoin group is here to represent, to stand behind Pedro. We talked about this very briefly at the top of this show here tonight, Dave. It's not about you. It's not about I, and it's definitely not about the drivers that are out there onto the track. Tonight, we go racing in honor of the man that you see there on screen. That is Pedro. Well, our friend Pedro has unfortunately caught the COVID-19 disease, or the virus, I should really say, and he has been hospitalized for the last month. He's been in the intensive care unit. So tonight, our thoughts, our prayers all go out to Pedro as we stand behind Pedro. Tonight, these drivers all race in Pedro's name. We do have some good news, though, for a lot of you race fans. Pedro is doing a little bit better. He is on the mend. He is coming back, and we can't wait to get an update just a little bit later on about Pedro. So, Pedro, if you're tuning in from wherever you are right now, we wish you a speedy recovery, and we can't wait to see you out here at the races. But, Dave, we do it for Pedro here tonight, as it's just about time to go racing.
Yeah, just about time to go racing. Drivers going to slowly start to get into their starting grid spots here. Looks like a few of them still making their way out of the garage, switching over from their qualifying setups and tunings, things of that nature, getting a few more of those packers out from those rear springs. Should let the cars travel a little bit more. Look for some of these drivers to kind of hang out here. Very long night, Roger. 70 laps, as we already said earlier. But more importantly, no fast repairs. Just like in the real world, if you slam it off the wall too hard, well, your night's going to be in a bad situation from that point on. So will we see drivers hanging out, or will we see more of them going for it, trying to keep themselves up in front of any of the accidents or incidents that we should have here tonight in the We Are Behind Pedro 175? So it's a mixed bag, and you just never know what you're going to get because, well, after all, it is Talladega.
Anything can happen here at this big 2.5-mile super speedway. Let's take you through your starting lineup here tonight. Starting lineup brought to us by our friends over at Richmar Florist Racing. Starting on the front row, and this is going to be no surprise to a lot of you iRacing fans, this is the driver out of Florida. It's the Fuel Sim Racing Team. It's going to be the number 26 of Hunter Squidward Reynolds. To his outside, it's the Sim Box Motorsports number 3. This will be the Cuban Missile. This is going to be Roy Fernandez. Starting P number 3, also hails out of Florida for the Fuel Sim Racing Team. It's the number 17. That is going to be Jimmy Reynolds. Starting in position number 4, hailing out of Carolina here tonight, driving the number 11 Chevrolet. This is going to be Ronald Brown. Starting 5th, out of Michigan, driving the Sim Box 01. This is the driver out of Lansing. This is Cody Sleeper. Driver out of New Jersey, driving the number 98. He's a champion on iRacing. This is going to be Todd Gray. Starting in the 7th position, out of the iRacing Drivers World page, this is going to be the number 24 of Jeff Gluckner. Starting in position number 8, hailing out of Florida, driving car number 45 here tonight, it's the Chevrolet of Robert Gillard. Starting in position number 9, it's going to be the driver of the Clocks by Christopher number 10, this will be David Cameron. And rounding out the top 10, the driver out of Ohio, this is the number 69 of Larry Poland. That's your top 10. Looks like starting in the 11th position here tonight, driving car number 13, this will be Billy Milner. Starting in position number 12, driving the 5-1, 5-0 Racing number 99, this is Toby Beard. Toby will roll off position number 12. Starting in the 13th position here tonight, driving car number 7 for the Triple L Motorsports, this will be John Peel. And of course, starting in position number 14, driving car number 88 for the Full Throttle Motorsports team, this is Big Bad Tim Combs. Starting 15th for the Hydro Drive Motorsports, number 19 here tonight, this will be Andy Stratcher. Starting in position number 16, hailing out of Pennsylvania, driving car number 12, didn't get many laps here in our practice session, this will be Stephanie Moyer. Starting in the 17th position, driving car number 16 out of Indiana, this is Gary Wells II. And of course, starting in the 18th position, it's the Starcom Fiber. Main and tail, Richmore Florist. Circle B diecast, number 00. This will be Bobby Peters. And starting 19th, shotgun to the field here on 19-car field. It's the driver out of Kutztown, Pennsylvania. Driving the number 31. It's the Turn 3 Racing Network Keystone Motorsports driver. This is Donald Bennett. That is your Richmore Florist Racing starting lineup here tonight for the We Are Behind Pedro 175 here at the Talladega Super Speedway. And well, Dave, if you weren't ready, you better be ready now, because these boys are about to get one lap here before we turn them loose.
Yeah, just one lap around for these drivers to get ready to hammer down. Got to make sure all of your communications are working. Spotter's going to be very key here tonight, Roger, more so than most tracks as, 2-3 wide racing. You got to know exactly how much room and exactly where the runs are formulating and coming from behind in order to block and keep that top spot. Sometimes you're going to have to go top to bottom, bottom to top. These drivers are going to have to roll off this starting grid, get everything set up, pull their belts tight one more time, and get ready to go. Green flag racing right here at Talladega Super Speedway.
Race fans, we thank you all for joining us here tonight at the Talladega Super Speedway here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. My name's Roger Muth. Joined tonight here in the virtual Turn 3 studio as you see the cars roll away. That is David Whirl. We are happy to have you here tonight, and we hope we can put on one whale of a show here at the Talladega Super Speedway. 19 cars strong. It looks like 18 drivers did take to the actual grid here tonight for the We Are Behind Pedro 175. So wherever you join us from, race fans, we welcome you to the Turn 3 Racing Network, and tonight is a special one for Pedro. Of course, Pedro and Roy Fernandez is one of his best friends out there. You see Roy out there onto the speedway. He will start in position number 2 here tonight. Pedro, Roy wanted us to give you a special message before tonight's race starts off. And, buddy, that's just hold strong. We are here for you all along the way. If you need it, all you got to do is ask for it. That's what Roy wanted us to pass that message along to you. And, well, Dave, I'm just getting so excited. Down the back straightaway, this long back straightaway. It's the Alabama Gang Super Stretch back here, and we're going to see a lot of passing right there.
You're going to see a lot of passing right there. You're going to see a lot of pushing, a lot of jockeying for position as well, because keep in mind, these drivers should see some green flag pit stops. Only 60% fuel load on these cars here tonight in these Cup cars, so they are going to have to make at least 2 possible green flag pit stops. So look for drivers to try to slot themselves to the bottom of the speedway before that happens. Will it be early when we get single file at the bottom, or how long will these drivers keep it up side by side, maybe even go 3 wide very early here tonight? But man, what a beautiful sight it is to see cars around these high banks once again here at Talladega Super Speedway. Roger, I don't know if you've been there. I've been there 2 times, and it is just as fun as Daytona. It is an absolute jam session down there in the infield on Talladega Boulevard. So as the pace car makes that left-hand turn, we'll get set to go green flag racing for the first time here tonight.
So the iRacing.com official pace car makes the left-hand turn. It will head to pit road. Green flag would normally come out right about now, race fans, but we're here at the Talladega Super Speedway, so we got to go all the way through this trial. But before we hit the green flag, it'll be in the hands here of Hunter Reynolds and Roy Fernandez. They will lead us down here right into this area. The green flag is officially waving here at Talladega tonight for the We Are Behind Pedro 175 here at the Talladega Super Speedway. Here we go, race fans. We are off and running, as you can see. Hunter Reynolds with a great start. Roy Fernandez, he is not going to give up that easily. But there's Jimmy Reynolds down to the inside. It's the Ford posse down there. It's the Reynolds and Reynolds show on the bottom. Look for them to stay linked up all night long as they work down the back straightaway for the first time here tonight.
And looking like a rough go on the start here. The initial start of the race, Roger, looks like that double O of Bobby Peters and Stephanie Moyer dropping to the rear of the field, well off the pace right now, already about almost 2 seconds behind the lead pack here. So this could be a calculated move, but those 2 drivers are going to have to be very careful about getting too far out of touch with that big first pack.
Coming to complete lap number 1 here out of the 70 schedule tonight. It will be the driver of the number 26. Squidward himself will squid across the line and he will take lap number 1 here tonight. Dave, it kind of answered our question that we thought about. Is it going to go single file, or are these drivers really going to race it out from the drop of the green flag? Well, a lot of them have gone single file. You only see a handful of drivers right now that are stuck to the outside groove. That is the driver of that 0-1. That is Cody Sleeper, and the number 3 of Roy Fernandez, both drivers out of Lansing, Michigan. They're being followed by the Ohio native of, I believe, actually, I'm not quite sure who that is actually to the outside. That Reese's Peanut. Oh, now I'm hungry.
And that is actually the 45 of Robert Gillard. That is back there, third car in the line, outside rows. We got one driver looking to the outside. I believe that's Todd Cray in the 98 Paradise for Pets machine, jumping out to the outside lane a little further up in front of this field. But as you were saying there, Roger, exactly, these drivers looking like they're willing to just go ahead and go single file, log some laps here, get some of these laps in the book before they really start mixing it up. Maybe that no fast repair coming into play here, having some of these drivers play a little more conservative. But what I'm more concerned with is that's really going to hurt those two drivers that didn't get off the starting grid very well. Bobby Peters, Stephanie Moyer, they are now 3.5 seconds behind a field that is almost single file. They're going to lose touch really, really quick.
One other driver that's out there right now with no drafting partner, and that is the driver of the number 13. That is Billy Milner. Looks like he's having a little bit of what we would like to call here, if Al was up in the booth with us, Dave, tonight, would be electrical issues. So right now, Billy Milner is about, call it 26 seconds behind the race leader's pace that they are setting here on lap number 4. Right now, we have two distinct packs forming. We have this first group of cars here, where you see, I believe that is the front 7, and then it's Larry pulling this second group of cars. It's Poling, it's Peel, it's Bennett, it's Combs, it's Sleeper, and a whole bunch of other drivers right here in this group back here. That is the battles from 8 on back, as now they all go single file, as they're going to try to catch the front of that field. The last car in line here, he did start P number 2 tonight. That is the 3 of Roy Fernandez.
Yeah, comers and goers are already very early here tonight. Donald Bennett making up 9 positions from where he started, still running right here in this second pack. But as you already mentioned, Roy Fernandez dropping from outside pole all the way back to the 14th position. They can see that lead pack out there, so they're not really getting away from them. But slowly but surely, that front pack, Roger, they're gaining about 1/10 a lap. And eventually that's going to add up at the end of a fuel run. That front pack may just have a gap big enough to pit, come back out, and not really lose any track time or position.
As you go on board here with Bobby Peters, you see the Richmore Florist Racing onboard camera. You can see how far they are behind that second group right now as they go down into turn number 3. You see them just out there, probably calling about 4 seconds is the deficit right now between Peters and Fernandez. We'll see if he can start to close the gap here as we come to complete lap number 4. We now have started officially lap number 5 here tonight. 6, actually. I can almost count, Dave. I took the shoes off tonight before we hopped into the virtual studio here, but lap number 6 now officially underway, and it is still Hunter Reynolds, Jimmy Reynolds, Jeff Gluckner right there. We talk about a guy that's here on iRacing that's all about the race fans, and, well, that's Jeff Gluckner. He is riding right there, that number 24 car. He's got BK Paints on the side, and, of course, the iRacing Drivers World on board there. If you're not familiar with the iRacing Drivers World, make sure to head on over to Facebook.com and type in the iRacing Drivers World, because, man, if you need something iRacing related, Jeff Gluckner and that whole group over there, they have it. One car peeling off to go down towards pit road, and that looks like that is the number 13 of Billy Milner. It looks like there is trouble underneath the hood of that number 13 here tonight, so he will pull it to pit road.
Yeah, Talladega going to go ahead and claim its third victim here tonight. I say third victim because Gary Wells Jr. listed as the second on the timing and scoring, and Andy Starcher, both of those drivers, the 16 and the 19, not actually getting out of the garage and getting to the raceway here tonight. So some mechanical issues keeping those two drivers out of the race. And already Billy Milner, as you said, Roger, off the pace, well behind the field, on the pit road, solo right now. He's going to have some trouble, and it looks like his night may just end before it has a chance to really start.
That's not what we want to see for the driver of that number 13 of Milner or Wells or Stratcher right now. We are rolling with 16 cars onto the speedway, coming to complete lap number 7. They have all been led by the driver who set fast time here tonight of Hunter Reynolds. So Reynolds is going to lead another one of these laps, and Man, I don't know if he's ever just going to give it up. It does look like Milner was able to come back out onto the speedway. Our cameras did just catch that. Richmar Florence racing number 13, so he will come back out. He will be shown, though, currently 2 laps down to the race leader of Hunter Reynolds. See him trying to funnel back out here onto the raceway. He should be able to possibly, if he can get up into the draft there, maybe catch that second group of cars draft. But right now, it is still Reynolds, Gluckner, Brown, Cameron, and Beard right there with Cray also in the front mix. So 7-car, bit of a breakaway. They have checked out to a 5, almost 5.5 second race lead over Larry Poling.
And to no surprise right now, those 2 drivers that are known for their super speedway skills, Roger, up there leading this field 1 and 2. Look for those 2 drivers to kind of stay with each other all night long. Very familiar racing with each other week in and week out. So look for those 2 drivers to possibly work a little bit better than most here, as they're very familiar on how they push, how they are pushed, how much fuel these cars get on these green flag runs, and now a big push in that front pack. Glockner right into the back of Jimmy Reynolds. That's going to translate and form the energy there to the 26. So both of those Fords stepping away just a little bit on Glockner after that little bit of a bump draft down the backstretch.
Yeah, if you're familiar with us here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, Hunter Reynolds and Jimmy Reynolds are 2 of the most, we'll call them, you know, there's those road course ringers, there's the dirt track ringers, and, well, these 2 are probably the biggest super speedway ringers that we have been able to cover here on the Turn 3 Racing Network in a long time. Of course, Hunter Reynolds, I think every time I call a race, either he's going to be the bridesmaid or he's able to park that number 26 in victory lane. Jimmy Reynolds, it's either he's the bridesmaid or he goes right along to victory lane with Hunter Reynolds. I guess when you have the last name Reynolds, either way, if you wind up second or first at a super speedway, it's a good day for either of them. So, you know, if you're tuning in and you're new here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, look for those 2, the Reynolds brigade up front, to hold down and lock down that top spot. But, I mean, we talked briefly about Todd Cray and being an iRacing.com champion with that Paradise, the Pets for Paradise, I believe it is, machine on that GTR simulator Chevrolet. He's also one of those drivers. It doesn't matter if it's a super speedway, a short track, intermediate. I think the only thing I haven't seen him race on, Dave, is dirt. So I don't know about dirt. You know anything on dirt?
I don't think I've seen him on dirt yet either, but I'm sure once he gets there, I'm sure we'll see him at the front where we usually do see him. And, you know, I'm going to say something. I'm a little impartial about this car right here and the sponsor and the paint scheme on that 31 machine, but doesn't that Turn 3 clean silver and white machine look good out there, piloted by Kutztown, Pennsylvania's very own Donald Bennett, showing a little bit of speed here, leading this second pack.
Yeah, he's actually coming out of my hometown, good old Kutztown, Pennsylvania. That's a beautiful paint scheme. Michael Bromley over at the Bromley Design Stable whipped that up probably about 6 months ago. And Donald's one of those drivers that likes to change his paint scheme more than I think he changes his socks. And I have not seen him in 6 months change that paint scheme. So, I mean, I guess he likes it. I mean, I like it. It is a beautiful looking number 31 for the driver out of Kutztown, Pennsylvania. And, of course, he has a driver that's right behind him, and that's the 88. That's the Hellcat machine. You see him? That is Tim Combs, the Ohio prodigy right there. So it's the Ohio, it's the Michigan, and it's the Pennsylvania posse group right here right now, being led by the Pennsylvania driver of Donald Bennett. Tim Combs is hanging right there. Dave, do you think he has a Chevrolet motor underneath that, or is that one of those SRT Hellkitties?
Well, I don't know. I think we may have to pop the hood after the race, make sure it's all legal in there. Because looking at the throttle mapping inside of that machine right now, he is fairly much out of the gas, much more than what I would imagine a driver to be, even within that draft. It looks like he's out of the gas much more than the drivers that he's in the pack with. So, I don't know. We may just have to check on that engine and get it inspected.
Well, we'll take a look at that one after the race here. Let's see if he is able to bring it home in P number 1. And if he is, and then we're definitely going to have to pull the bonnet on that car and check it out here tonight. Race fans, we thank you once again, though, for joining in. You are watching us here at the Talladega Super Speedway, virtually, of course. We're not at the real Talladega Super Speedway as much as we all wish we could be. We're here virtually on the iRacing.com platform for the We Are Behind Pedro 175. Pedro, we hope you're staying strong out there because these cars are motoring around this Talladega Super Speedway very strong here tonight. This lap number 13 about to go in the books, and there it is, Hunter Reynolds will lead another one once again here tonight. A couple of drivers that are still a little bit farther back into the pack right now, and they haven't been able to gain any. That's Bobby Peters and Stephanie Moyer right now, the drivers out of the Starcom stables. You see them back here? Well, he's got, at least looking at Bobby Peters, the information we have on this driver of that 0057, he's got Ryan Vargas and TJ Peters helping him out here tonight, so he's got some very strong help back there in the garage.
Yeah, some very strong help indeed. And Stephanie, no slouch herself right there. I just think they weren't able to get going really on the initial start of the race, Roger, and that kind of put them behind the 8-ball before they even had a chance to get to turn 1. Looked like they just didn't get up through the gears quite like they needed to, quite like they wanted to. So both of those Chevy ZL1 Camaros struggling on the start, and it has translated throughout the rest of this green flag run. Now 15 laps on the board. And I got to wonder, or maybe they playing a fuel game here. Maybe will they stay out a lap or two longer than the rest of the field by being back here? But, well, there again, Roger, they're breaking that air all to themselves. So that 5700 is actually using a little bit more gas than some of these other drivers in front in those top 2 packs.
Well, you never know. A lot of times when we come to the Talladega Superspeedway or the Daytona International Speedway, drivers have their own little agendas. And, of course, with the drivers that we said that are backing Bobby Peters here tonight, you never know what you're going to get. And we'll find out here in a little bit. It looks like Milner is back down pit road, and with his 13, his engine woes still continue here tonight. As we come out of turn number 2 down the back straightaway here, it's still Hunter Reynolds, Jimmy Reynolds, Gluckner, Brown, and Cameron right there, along with Cray. Cray, it looks like he has now picked up one spot. He's going to bump Toby in that Dirty Mo Radio number 99 back one position. So Toby is now officially the caboose on the front group here, the front 7 cars.
Yeah, and back here leading that second pack, driver inside of that 31 machine, Donald Bennett. He's got Tim Combs, Cody Sleeper, Roy Fernandez, Robert Gillard, and John Pio, Larry Poling right there. Tail end Sally right here of this. I believe it's a 7-car pack right here. Just close to 3 seconds, it looks like, right behind that front pack. So all the drivers really comfortable right now where they're running, all single file, all down on the bottom of the speedway. We do see every now and again one of these drivers poke the nose out to the right side, try to get a little bit of air, try to keep that engine running cool for later on in the race. You don't want to pop an engine early here tonight because, well, there's no fixing it, no fast repairs. They're doing it just like the real world here tonight at Talladega Superspeedway. So if you had to, Roger, and I know I'm going to put you on the spot, and I don't think I'm going to get an answer, but hey, you got to try anyway. If you had one pick out here tonight, who you going with to get to victory lane?
Well, I would have liked to pick Roy Fernandez starting on the front row. Could be the feel-good story here tonight, along with Cody Sleeper. But you really have to go back to the Reynolds stables. Hunter Reynolds and Jimmy Reynolds, they have the lockdown on the super speedways. How do you bet against the 2 drivers that are, well, sitting in the same household? They can use hand signals. They don't have to come across the radio. They don't have to relay messages through their spotter. They can just go ahead, hand motion. I think I even heard that they have some light switches, and I think it's like 3 or 4 different colors, and each color means something different. Sort of like Peyton Manning out there yelling Omaha, and everybody on that team exactly knows what Omaha is going to mean. Not a single one of us that are tuning in anywhere have a clue what he was talking about during his NFL football career. But these 2, you just cannot bet against them. The big thing that we're going to have to look at is, Dave, green flag pit stops are in, the near future here. One of them down onto the apron going into turn number 1. That was the 98. That was Todd Gray. It looked like he was down to the inside there on Toby. And those 2 cars almost came together, headed down into turn number 1. They both avoided issue, and it did look like Todd Gray was able to get back up onto the banking without doing any damage to the splitter of his ZL1 Camaro as they worked down the back straightaway. I did take a notice, though, Dave, that second pack being led by Donald Bennett, they are starting to close the gap. They are now under 3 seconds to the front group.
Yeah, and I think that little bit of mishap there between Toby Bird and Todd Cray, I think that allowed that back pack to close in just a little bit further. The speed looks to be about the same a mile an hour, maybe here or there faster for Bennett and his group back there. They do have the stronger number as far as the car count, I do believe. No, and actually that's even 7-7 in the group, but it looks like they're just packed up, running a little bit closer at the front of that second pack, and that's what's getting Bennett and Combs slowly but surely up there now, under 2 seconds. About what is that, almost a second and a half.
Two drivers coming to pit road here, though. It is Bobby Peters and Stephanie Moyer. They're coming to pit road, and a lock up there by Peters. It's going to call Stephanie Moyer to have to check up, and now it looks like Peters sideways into his box. He actually missed his pit stall, Dave, and oh no, that is disastrous. He parked the Starcom machine up against the fence there on the inside of the pit wall, and he's too far past the pit stall, and man, now he's got to back it up.
Yeah, big time trouble right there. Big time mistake out of that 0057 of Bobby Peters in the Starcom Fiber Racing sponsored machine. And, you know, if you're going to have a mistake, you want to have it early, especially at a track like this. It's big. Anything can happen. You can find yourself right back up in the mix should we get a caution. That will bring the field all back together. So while you want to minimize the mistakes, sometimes you are able to recover from them rather easily here when we go plate racing, restrictor plate racing, whether it's here at Talladega Superspeedway, as more green flag pit stops underway. Your leader's going to break to pit road. Hunter Reynolds, big time speed carrying it into the pit road, and that entire front pack comes down all together.
One of them out into the grass there a little bit. We'll have to see what the iRacing.com officials say about that one. I believe that was the 99. Toby Bird may have taken the Dirty Mo radio machine out for a little bit of a lawnscaping adventure. So right now, this is your front pack. They are all coming to pit road here. Hunter Reynolds hits his pit stall. Roy Fernandez, Jimmy Reynolds, everybody is down on pit road. Donald Bennett going to be one of the first ones down and away. Here comes the race off pit road. It's going to be Hunter Reynolds and Jimmy Reynolds. 2 tires stop for them and fuel only. They're going to swap it up. Jimmy Reynolds is going to lead them off of pit road.
And interesting enough, I'm looking back through the timing and scoring and looking over the track right now. And the 12 of Moyer, who you think or who you would have thought of would have got out in front of Bobby Peters after Peters struggled to get into his box and carrying that speed into pit road. Actually, Peters was able to get off of pit road before Stephanie Moyer, and Moyer's actually sitting quite a bit down now, a big-time gap up to her closest friend, closest car on the track. I believe that's almost a 12-second difference.
Yeah, with 12 seconds, you know as well as I do, Dave, there's not much out there to draft as we ride on board with our Richmart Florist Racing onboard camera here with the 12 of Moyer. There is nobody down the back straightaway.
Lonely world out there in that SimCube Racing sponsored Chevy ZL1 Camaro. Nobody around, just the fans in the stands to look at. And well, it's sometimes the quietness of your own engine can be a little unsettling.
Yeah, you don't hear the car hitting the RPMs that it once was, but your race leaders right now of Jimmy Reynolds and Hunter Reynolds, they come out sitting 1 and 2, and they got a 3-second gap back here to the next 4-car freight train. That is Donald Bennett leading the second group, Todd Cray, Roy Fernandez, and Tim Combs. Then there's another gap back to about 4 seconds before you're going to pick this group up. It's the group of 3. It's the Cody Sleeper entry, the Toby Bird entry, and Ronald Brown there. You see, that's another 3-car group, and man, there's one driver that just looks like he just maybe had a terrible entry into pit road, and that's the iRacing Drivers World entry. That's the number 24 of Jeff Gluckner. He is back here. He went from running 3rd while entering pit road all the way back to the 10th position, sitting about 10.5 seconds off the race leaders of Jimmy Reynolds and Hunter Reynolds as they come through the trial.
And it looks like the pit roast police in action here tonight. Cody Sleeper has to bring it back to pit road. I do believe he got popped for a speeding penalty down there on pit road. He was on pit road with everybody else, was running well up there just in front of this 3-car pack being led by Jeff Glockner, and now Sleeper already back into the pit box serving a penalty. So some tough trouble here for multiple drivers on their first green flag pit stop. And Roger, well, when you take yourself out of the race early with a mistake, a lot of the competitors at the front, they can breathe a little easier now, but will they just calm down and ride it out? Or will we see them mixing it up a little bit, knowing that, well, there's not very many left up there in the front to race out with?
Well, I can tell you right now, we called it as Jimmy Reynolds and Hunter Reynolds having a little over a 3-second gap back to Donald Bennett. Well, take that, blend it up, throw it away, whatever you want to do, because, well, here comes the Donald Bennett machine. The driver out of Kutztown, Pennsylvania, he's got the New Jersey native of Todd Cray right there on his back end. There you see that 0-1 sim box entry of Cody Sleeper coming back out onto the speedway now. Cody Sleeper is going to be able to blend in here, I believe, but Bennett is under 1 second. It's now sitting at about a half a second. He is coming at a rate of about 9 miles an hour faster. Don't look for the Reynolds machines to try and throw the block on that 31 because he's just coming with too big of a steam.
Yeah, big head of steam there for Donald Bennett. He's going to take that top spot and lead a lap right there at the start-finish line is when he's going to take that top spot away. I thought it was a little bit of a late move by that 31 to duck on out, but he ducked out just about a car length behind. I believe that was Jimmy Reynolds that he made that jump around. Actually, no, that was Hunter in the 26 Ford Mustang that he made that final move around there. And the top three in that 4-car pack, well, they went right around that Reynolds clan. And now the top three, Bennett, Cray, and Fernandez.
It's going to put Jimmy Reynolds and Hunter Reynolds back running 4 and 5. There you see Tim Combs. He is right now pulling along that sim box. 0-1 there. That is the driver out of Lansing, Michigan, of Cody Sleeper. Remember, he did get a 15-second penalty, I believe it was, for his machine. Too fast on pit road exiting, so they had to come back down and serve that. And, it's stacked on top. That was a commitment cone violation for the driver out of Lansing, Michigan. That's what's going to put him 1 lap down, currently sitting into the 12th position. So right now, Cody Sleeper runs 12th. Bobby Peters is going to be running into that 13th position. He's also 1 lap down, but right now he runs in 13th, and he is all by himself. What a lonely tune that one would be. The driver of the 45 also a lap down here. That's the Reese's Pieces Peanut Butter Cup entry. Robert currently running back here into the 14th spot, and right behind him, there you see the driver out of Pennsylvania. It's the number 12, Stephanie Moyer. She is sitting also 1 lap down right into the 15th position. So 4 drivers on that 1 lap down marker group, and then there's 1 driver of Larry Poling. I'm not sure what happened to Larry other than, well, he spent a lot of time down in his pit box, the driver of that number 69. As he spent 1 minute and 42 seconds. Dave, I think that may have been too fast entering and commitment cone violation also for the 69.
Yeah, trying to look back through the timing and scoring and find exactly what it is. And I do believe you are right there with that penalty assessment. And Larry Poling well behind the field, well behind the 8 ball now, 2 laps down. That's going to be tough to overcome. 1 lap, yeah, you can get that back. You can stay out with a wave around if we get a caution flag here tonight. But so far, clean and green all race long as the drivers make their way back through this tri-oval, back through the front stretch to begin lap number 29 out of the 70 scheduled in tonight's official race distance. So while there's still a long way to go, you don't want to dig that hole too deep in Poling right there on the cusp of not being able to crawl his way back out. But as we know, Roger, as these laps click off, as we get closer to the end of tonight's, we are behind Pedro 175. Those runs are going to get a little tighter. They're going to get a little faster. The bumps are going to get a little harder. And, well, drivers are going to be all take and no give. So we very well may still see a few caution flags out here tonight, and that will help along a lot of other drivers as well. Sleeper, Peters, Gillard, as well as Moyer. They're all begging for a caution at this point in time. They're seeing debris all over this track.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any debris. All I'm seeing out here tonight, race fans, is some great super speedway racing. 2 drivers did duck to the outside. That was the Reynolds Brigade, but nobody was able to make up any ground, and well, now we stay single file here at the front of this one. Race fans, we got to thank you all once again here as we close into the halfway point. We're just 5 laps away from halfway home in this one. We've already made 1 green flag stop, but we got to thank you once again for tuning in. And all the drivers and all the fans and all the sponsors that helped us out here tonight to get to this point. Well, we thank you. Tonight's race is in the name of Pedro. We do it for our friend Pedro, and right now, these drivers are putting on one whale of a show. And Dave, somebody asked me out there in chat. They're looking at our logo in our upper right-hand corner, the one that says we are behind Pedro 175, the iRacing charity event logo that Bromley Designs did for us. They're wondering why the dogs are up there. Do you know why the dogs are up there in the logo?
I know Pedro has a little fur, buddy. I know that much about it, and I do know that they made a blanket with his dog's face all over it to kind of help him through this whole situation, as we've already mentioned in the pre-race and throughout tonight's broadcast. Pedro being hospitalized in the ICU for over a month now, slowly recovering as we go along, but some of these drivers that know him, some of his friends and colleagues right here on iRacing have lent a hand and got him a special little blanket with his dog's face on it. So, I mean, other than that, maybe you've got something.
Nope, you just hit that one on the head. There's no other better way of, regaining strength, regaining confidence, other than having a little puppy dog alongside you. I can tell you, my little Macy dog, she's with me 24/7 at this point. She's actually laying underneath our desk here in our studio. She will not let me out of her sight since I came back from the Bristol Motor Speedway the other week, and, well, we love our little fur animals. But as we close in on halfway here tonight, Donald Bennett, the driver out of Kutztown, Pennsylvania, still leading the New Jersey native of Todd Cray. Lansing, Michigan's own Roy Fernandez is still sitting there third, and then it's the Florida drivers. Man, you talk about the North, talking about the Florida drivers down here, and we got them from all over the country also. Dave, you're down there, and we'll call it North Kakalaki, I guess you really want to call it. So we're all up and down the eastern seaboard and spread out through the country.
Absolutely, and I mean, we've even got drivers way out in the West Coast from California. We've got people from all over the country right here in the Turn 3 Racing Network group. One of our good buddies and colleagues out from the Midwest side of things. I do believe Missouri, to be exact. I won't label down any towns or things of that nature, but I mean, we're all over. We've got fans all over, and we do appreciate each and every one of you each and every time you join us here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, whether it's for any time on the track with Muth in the booth, or myself, Dave of the Cave, or even the boss man, Al, KR, Stolfus, Chris, and Rick, everybody back here. We all thank you each and every time you tune in. And I tell you what, while you're here, while you're watching, you can head down in the description, find a link to try to help out our good buddy Pedro. And you can also, toss these drivers a thumbs up for what a great run they're having so far here tonight. No cautions, still clean and green on lap 34.
That means we're just 2 laps away from the halfway point being home here tonight. And, man, Dave, you hit it right on the top of the head, but I'm noticing out in front of our race leader here of Donald Bennett, that's going to be the number 12 of Stephanie Moyer. Moyer is on the verge of going 2 laps down. Can't see it right here from our Rich Moore Florist Racing onboard camera as she's in the corner, but as she levels out here coming out of turn number 4, you're going to see Donald Bennett in the group back there. They are back there. They are coming. And I'm just taking a peek at the telemetry that we're getting. Right now, Stephanie Moyer running about 89 miles an hour across the start-finish line. Donald Bennett's going to hit that same marker at 196 miles an hour. So Stephanie Moyer is on the verge of falling multiple laps down here in the early stages here tonight at Talladega. But she's not going to be the only one. Gillard right now in that 45, also right there just ahead of her. She has actually started to close the gap in on that number 45. So if Moyer can get to Robert, that would be a 2-car tango. They would. Well, what we would think would be a little bit faster here around the Talladega Superspeedway, other than just riding around by yourself. We'll see if they can get linked up together, and it actually does look like Robert may be dragging the brake just a little bit. I can tell you who's not dragging the brake, and that's the driver out front, and that's the Donald Bennett machine. He is flat to the floor, and he is coming here tonight. He wants to pick up a win, as he'll lead us across the line here tonight at the halfway point home.
Yeah, halfway point in the book, and ever since Bennett took that top spot, he has not looked back. Todd Cray has stayed right there with him, been all over that rear bumper, has dropped back just about a half a car length at this point in time. No need for really pushing the limits right now, but we did see Cray there for a minute pushing the rear end of that 31 of Bennett. Pretty hard to get them up and around and clear. And a little bit of a wiggle there out of the 17 of Jimmy Reynolds. Hunter gets into the back of them just a little bit too hard there as they were almost into turn. I believe that was turn number 3 that they were going into at that point in time. No, that was actually, that was turn number 3.
As they come through the trial here, their complete lap number 35. There you see that front group. It is 6 cars under a little bit of a blanket here as they come by the start-finish line. And, well, tell us, Dave, you're more of the driver than I am. I've been outside the car a lot longer. these cars, especially the A-Class, it's what we would know in the racing world as the Cup cars. How hard is it right now? Say that you're Hunter Reynolds here. You're sitting in that 5th position, back in the trap, 3, 4 cars ahead of you, 2 cars behind you. How hard is it right now to hold a steady line?
It gets a little wiggly. It gets a little rough. Obviously, the turbulent air. You're right there. You're actually the 4th car in line, so you don't have a lot of air except for dirty air, and it's tough to really make a move. It's tough to really try to get yourself out of that position, because if you duck out, you're gonna hit that wall of air. You're gonna have to break that second line. So you're gonna need help. You're gonna need friends to go with you. And at this point in time, with this race being stretched out here, going green flag for the first 38 laps, multiple drivers being scored off the lead lap as well. How risky is that move? Because if you happen to be left out to dry, you could find yourself as the next driver struggling to try to keep yourself on the lead lap, trying to keep yourself from going that lap down, as now we've still got just 11 cars on the lead lap. So, I mean, that's the trouble if you're the 17 of Reynolds or even Roy Fernandez right now. If he mistimes his move, it is going to be a bad news situation for him, not meaning he'll be off the track, but he will be way off pace with no help behind him. And I think that's just why we see these drivers so content to sit there in this front pack, at least a half a car length or more separating each one of these cars. Looks like they're keeping it right around that 1 car length. But Roger, something we haven't talked about is that side draft that has been implemented here on the Cup cars at the restrictor plates. A lot more realistic physics in drafting, aerodynamic mapping done by iRacing to mimic the real world a little bit more. So as it's tough to pull out, that side draft really is there now, and it really can slow down the drivers on the inside or outside, depending on which way the run goes. But, I mean, that's something we got to take into consideration as well. How hard will these drivers be willing to side draft each other once they do get back to side-by-side racing?
Yeah, that's something we're going to have to watch out for as we get 31 laps to go that time by at the line here. And that is something new to the iRacing drivers here. We have not had side draft per se, especially the way that this format has been, or at least this physics package has been. So these drivers, and a lot of them, aren't used to, consistently running the Cup car either. You talked about it briefly, of course, the physics also being updated. If we were to form a 3rd lane here tonight, there are physics. There is that air pocket here tonight at the Talladega Superspeedway to keep the car, or at least try to keep the car. The best way I can describe it is everybody knows Kyle Larson, and everybody knows Kyle Larson likes to go and rip the lip. He's a dirt track racer, so he's not afraid to be right up against the fence line. So when you take that car, you put it right up against the fence, there's that little air pocket there. You don't want to step over it, because if you step over it, you put yourself into the wall. But if you can keep a nice balance up against the outside wall, if we get a 3rd lane formed here tonight, that could be the hot ticket to find yourself into victory lane. But that's still a long ways off. We're still going to have, I believe it's just 1 more pit stop is what we're going to need here tonight. All these drivers pitted back on lap number 21. And actually, Dave, I may be mistaken, we might need another one yet.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting little fuel game here, because it looks like drivers are going to have to hit pit road somewhere here in the next, I would say, 2 to 5 laps is when we should see this second round of green flag pit stops, as I believe Bobby Peters breaks off for pit road on his second stop of the evening. So these drivers are going to have to come to pit road now, and, well, that means they're going to be just shy of that 70 lap mark. So what do? Do you roll the dice now and take just a splash and then try to have a teammate or two come down to pit road with you? That way you can just get a splash now, come right back down and be full throttle all the way to the end of the race? Or do you play it full fuel load once again and try to put that splash at the end? Strategy may be across the board. That's yet to be seen. But we still got a long way to go here tonight, just under 30 laps remaining.
Trouble entering pit road. 2 cars coming together. Ronald Brown and it looks like Larry Poling have made some contact with their ZL1 Camaros. That will not bring the caution flag out here, as here comes the whole group. All your race leaders coming to pit road here all together. They were able to all make it down on pit road cleanly. So they will keep pointed in the right direction as they come to pit road. Let's take a look back here. On our replay here tonight, what happened to the driver of the number 11? There you see Brown down, coming to pit road. No, Larry Poling just did not get slowed down, and right into the rear end of that number 11 of Ronald Brown. They both go spinning into the inside retaining wall, and that's why there's no caution. It was just off the racing surface. Take a look here. Ride on board. You're riding on board with a Rich Mar Flores Racing onboard camera. And that's a hard contact. Brown was trying to downshift, hit the brakes, and come to pit road. And Larry Poling just did not get slowed up in time. He just backed it, or just got into the back end of that number 11. But we stay green flag racing.
And through all that, I seen the 17 of Hunter Reynolds, or actually, I apologize. That's the 17 of Jimmy Reynolds coming to pit road there. He was on the inside, or more so to the left-hand side of pit road, on the brakes, hard smoke boiling out from underneath the chassis of that machine off of those tires. So we'll keep our eyes, see if Reynolds was hit with a too fast entering penalty. But something else I'm noticing, another 2-tire stop at the front of this field. Todd Cray, Roy Fernandez, they're going to take over the race lead. Donald Bennett's going to fall back to third now. But those top two runners, they only took right sides in fuel once again as they go around that 69 of Larry Poling. Poling going to fall down a third lap here tonight. And, you know, Roger, as we said, it looks like most of these drivers are going to go ahead and try to run another complete fuel run. But Stephanie Moyer, she was able to come to pit road with that lead pack. She leaves with a little bit of drafting help now, so that's going to help her a little bit in her calls to try to get back up there and up into the mix, up inside the top 10. Moyer sitting back in the 13th position right now. Second driver, 2 laps down. Second driver in that Starcom Fibers Racing connection that is listed off the lead lap, back 2 laps down. Teammate 00 of Peters also being listed 2 laps down. So it's kind of all over the board right now. About half the field on the lead lap and half the field at least 1 lap or more down.
Yeah, noticing it also split the groups up. We talk about Todd Gray and Roy Fernandez being together, and then a 2-second gap back here to this 3-car tango. It's Bennett, it's Combs, then I believe that's actually the 0-1 of Cody Sleeper. Remember, Sleeper had his issues on pit road. And then a little bit farther back down the road behind them, it's the Reynolds connection. I did notice Hunter Reynolds actually backed out, but he was in no man's land, and he instantly threw the boat anchor out the back, and he elected to come back here to pick up Jimmy Reynolds, and now they're trying to bump draft their way back. It just does not look like these two Fords can get nose to tail and stay nose to tail. Here comes now Hunter Reynolds. He's going to go to the inside on turn number 4, or at least it looked like it. Jimmy Reynolds comes back down, and he will hold that position here on lap number 46. We have 25 laps to go here tonight, and we are behind Pedro 175. Pedro, once again, if you're tuning in out there, my friend, tonight's race, these drivers are putting on one heck of a show for you, my friend.
Absolutely one heck of a show, and I'm actually a little bit surprised at this juncture in the race, Roger. With just 25 laps left to go here, the 2 drivers that I had my eye on to pretty much dominate this race here tonight just because of their experience in road in this style of racing, in this restrictor plate racing. Jimmy Reynolds, Hunter Reynolds troubles on the pit road, and well, now that's got them behind the 8 ball after leading the vast majority of the first part of this race until the first round of green flag pit stops. After that, we've seen Donald Bennett take over that race lead, but I'm surprised to see these 2 drivers that are so well-rounded in restrictor plate racing struggling now just to stay in 5th and 6th on the track, sitting 3 3/4 of a second, almost 4 seconds back from the drivers in front of them. So a little bit of a misnomer right now, as we've got drivers that should be at the front towards the rear, drivers in the rear that should be at the front. And I mean, everything's all over the place. Comers and goers all race long. Donald Bennett, biggest mover of the race right now, up 16 spots from where he started back in the 19th position. Tim Combs also with a big jump through the field here tonight. He started in 14th, now running in 4th. So as we continue this race, things are going to change here as we continue to click off these laps. As we already mentioned and said earlier, those pushes going to get a little bit more aggressive. Drivers going to be wanting to try to get themselves to the front of this field.
Yeah, we talked about the little bit of a two-car breakaway with Todd Cray and Roy Fernandez. Well, Donald Bennett, Tim Combs, and Cody Sleeper are starting to reel them back in. 23 laps to go in your front two. Right now, Fernandez and Cray, they are not even linked together with those ZL1 Camaros. There's a little bit, call about a half a car length in between them. And yes, there's that air bubble that does get sandwiched in between the cars. But, well, you guys are out front, and it is still gonna pull that 31 of Donald Bennett along, because two cars in front of you breaking the wind, it makes a real nice tunnel for you.
And it looks like actually that 69 of Larry Poling has some issues. He went down to pit road before a caution could fly here tonight. So we continue this long green flag run, clean and green all night long since the drop of the initial race flag here tonight from Talladega Superspeedway. And Roger, I mean, that's saying something all into itself about the caliber of drivers that are here in this field tonight for the We Are Behind Pedro 175. Even the real life cup drivers, well, they don't really go on runs like this. This is a very, very long green flag run, almost a 50 lap green flag run with 2 green flag pit stops involved in it as well. So now at that front of the field, Cray and Fernandez have company. Here comes Bennett and here comes Combs.
So now they're right there with the race leaders. One driver we haven't touched much on here tonight. He's back here running into the 10th position. He's also one of those drivers out of Florida. John Peel has picked up himself 3 positions tonight, but he has now fallen out of the draft, and he has fallen 36 seconds behind the race leaders of Fernandez and Todd Cray. As now Fernandez is able to go ahead and lead here down the back straightaway. He's got Donald Bennett along with him, as they're going to hang the number 98 of Todd Cray out to the outside, and that choo-choo train down on the bottom side is going to let him go all the way to the back of this front group. Yeah, it's only going to be 5 cars, but boy, I think there might be a little communication between those Chevrolets right now. Here comes Bennett. Here comes Fernandez. They're going to short pit with 21 laps to go. This is the final pit stop of the night. One of them going to overshoot, and, well, we're going to have to see, I don't know, if Todd Cray was able to get that car slowed down into pit road. Dave, maybe you had a better angle of that one.
Whew, man, that was some crazy action coming to pit road right there. Todd Cray, I think they may get him for a commitment cone violation right there. He stops way deep in the box, still able to get the stop in. They're not going to have to back up that car, but also, oh, and yes, had to back up just a little bit. Long wait to service the car. Roy Fernandez also on the binders late there, Roger. So I don't know, those 2 cars right there that were running up inside that top 4, they may end up having to come back down pit road one more time. Rest of the field already down and away out of the pit box, getting up to speed off of turn number 2.
Pressure, Dave. It comes down to this final pit stop and all the pressure being put on you. And Todd Cray looks like, well, he made the mistake coming onto pit road. He made the mistake coming into his pit box, but now he'll have a chance to come back out here. He is going to be behind that front group, though. Donald Bennett also losing a little ground. They're all a little bit separated right now, but Todd Cray is the one that's going to lose the draft the biggest here, because Bennett and Combs are going to be able to get linked back together. They're going to push back together there with Roy Fernandez, as they're going to come get 18 laps to go, I believe, or it'll be the next time by for them, as there's your race leaders, Jimmy Reynolds and Hunter Reynolds. They swerving Mervins down the back straightaway. Those 2 cars are your leaders here, but they have yet to make their final pit stop of the evening here at the Talladega Superspeedway. Laps are winding down. When do they come to pit road? Well, that question's about to be answered.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say maybe they stretch this, because we have seen these drivers stretch the fuel. Oh, big lockup there out of the 26. I wonder if he got it down in time. Big time lockup very late there. A lot smoother of an entry this time for that 17 of Jimmy Reynolds, though, so that's going to vote well for him. But I was going to say maybe they try to stretch it a little bit longer, try to see if they can wait it out, get one of those pesky late race cautions here. But the way this field is spread out, the way this race has run all night long, I don't think we're going to see a caution flag here. I think we're going to go green flag racing all the way from the start to the finish of tonight's race. And a little bit of a moment there for Reynolds and the 17, almost running over Hunter there coming out of pit road. So I don't know, man. This thing could get interesting at the end.
Once again, the pressure getting to these drivers as the pay window is starting to open up here tonight. Dave's warming up his pipes. He's going to sing us a song at the end of this one. New race leader, though, here with 18 to go. And I believe this group of cars, they are going to play a different strategy till the end of this one. It's Toby Bird, and then it's going to be Gluckner and Cameron. There you see a couple cars sprinkled in there. It's Gillard. He's also in this mix. And I believe there's one other driver. I think that's Ronald Brown, also in this group of cars. This is your lead pack with a couple lap down cars sprinkled in. But right now, it's the Dale Jr. Sponsor Me, Dirty Mo Radio number 99. I guess that's one way to get Dale Jr.'s attention.
Indeed. I mean, why not?
So right now,
I'd do it. I'd do it.
Well, you put my face on your car one time, and it got me to work with you, so I guess anything's possible at this point.
You just had to go and bring that up, huh?
Every time we get to work together, Dave, I'm going to bring that one up for you here tonight. It'll be 16 to go, though, for Toby as he is out front. He is pulling this train around the Talladega Superspeedway. Still is yet to make his final pit stop because your top three drivers, they all pitted back on lap number 42. So they have to come down at least one more time along with the 7 of John Peel. He will also have to bring his number 7 to pit road. He pitted back on lap number 40. You can just not stretch the fuel that far here tonight at the Talladega Superspeedway. A beautiful day here, though, in the virtual land at Talladega. Little cloud cover right now, as you see right behind this number 7. And you see that is, I believe, going to be the number 17 of Jimmy Reynolds and the 26 of Hunter Reynolds, and they got the 01 of Cody Sleeper also there. I'm noticing, though, Dave, I don't know if you saw it coming to pit road, but that 01 of Cody Sleeper in that Simbox entry, the Bromley Designs 01, he's got some damage on the rear deck lid of this 01 machine. I don't know where he got it, but I can only suspect it came on entry to pit road.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of drivers pushing the envelope, getting onto pit road, because that's really where you can make up some time. Everybody has to run the same speed down pit road, so you really make up that track time on your pit road entry and your pit road exit. If you can be faster than your fellow drivers out there getting into pit road and back out from that last cone, that's where you make up the time. That's where you make up the ground, and it looks like, unfortunately for that 01 of Cody Sleeper, somebody... well, they had to use him for a little extra help to slow down.
Well, somebody that doesn't need any help right now to slow down, at least, it is the number 24, Jeff Gluckner. He will go to the point here with 15 to go, where he will come by. He'll lead this time. That BK Paints number 24 will lead here tonight at the Talladega Superspeedway. I mean, we talked about a couple of these cars and the beautiful paint schemes that they have on them tonight here. Well, driver of that number 24 of Jeff Gluckner has the BK Paints also on the side of this number 24. I can tell you, Dave, remember that super late model that they made me? They put my head on the bonnet of that car. That's a good-looking car, and Jeff Gluckner goes to the same designer that I did for that one.
Yeah, I actually still have a picture of that car where you sent it to me. That's a beautiful looking machine, and right now things looking beautiful for that iRacing Drivers World admin. Jeff Gluckner sitting in a good spot right now, but this is that race strategy we were talking about here, Roger. These drivers not having to go to pit road just yet, and now it looks like the 10 of Cameron, he's going to go ahead and call it quits, come to pit road. Lots of speed. He's going to miss pit road. That's definitely going to spell trouble late in the game here. Still swerving down pit road. Tough break for that 10 now. But back to what we were saying about Gluckner, he's going to have to pit. He's going to be able to stay out for, I believe, another 5 laps at least before he's going to have to bring that machine down pit road. He'll be on pit road a little bit shorter, not needing as much fuel, so we'll have to see how that all translates out.
13 to go as they come down the back straightaway here tonight at Talladega. It'll be 12 to go next time by. Still waiting on the front two of Bird and Gluckner to come to pit road, and then it should cycle things back through. Roy Fernandez, Donald Bennett, and Tim Combs right now are sitting in the catbird seats here tonight, as here comes the 24. Here comes this whole front group of cars. They will come to pit road, coming to get 12 to go for the final time this evening. They will give it up as here comes your... Oh, big trouble coming to pit road. Big trouble. A couple of them together. It looks like that is the number 45 of Robert Gillard. He has gone around coming to pit road. That is going to spell disaster as the green flag still stays out here tonight as he now gets it back going. But, boy, that's not going to be good to go the rest of the way.
Yeah, that's a tough one right there, coming to pit road for the final pit stop of the evening. Trouble. Drivers going every which way right there. The 45, unfortunately, catching the worst end of the stick there. But fortunately enough, you've got both sides of the rainbow right here, Roger. Bad luck right there coming to pit road with that for Robert Gillard and his 45 Reese's team. But good luck right there for Roy Fernandez, because the caution flag did not fly. He stays powered up in leading this trio of cars at the front. You've got Roy Fernandez, Donald Bennett, Tim Combs sitting right there in third, all packed up with each other. And we talked about it earlier, Roger. How sweet would it be for Roy Fernandez to put that 3 Chevy ZL1 Camaro up in victory lane, being pushed by a fellow friend for a fellow friend in tonight's charity event right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network at Talladega Superspeedway. It would be a bittersweet, if you will, moment there for the driver inside of that 3.
Well, here's another tidbit of information. You know how we're full of information over here, Dave. We love to jot notes down and bring it here to the viewers that are watching on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Key facts that maybe people don't or wouldn't know. Well, the 3 of Roy Fernandez, his favorite driver was Dale Earnhardt Sr. back in the day, and of course, that's why he drives a black number 3 Chevy here on the iRacing.com platform as they come by this time. They got 10 laps to go. Well, if you noticed, Pedro, while he was sitting in his hospital bed when he came out of his induced coma, he was holding up 3 fingers. Why was he holding up 3 fingers? That's because he always does it for Dale. And if you're a race fan out there, you understand the saying, do it for Dale. And, well, we're doing it for Dale here tonight. Roy Fernandez doing it for Dale. He is leading here at one of the tracks that Dale Earnhardt Sr. loved the most here at the Talladega Superspeedway. It's one of the tracks that I believe he has some of the most wins, I believe, or at least a consecutive streak.
I know he's got one of the biggest charges from about mid-pack. I believe it was 18th, if I have that number correct. Maybe we can get our statistician to get on our ear on that one, but I believe he came from like 18th all the way to the front to win the race in like 3 laps. It's something absolutely amazing and went down in the history books in the NASCAR world. And as you said, absolutely, this is one of those tracks that they used to say he could see the air. He was so good here, he could see the air around the cars and be able to manipulate that and use that to his advantage. And, well, he passed that kind of trade along to Junior there. Junior was very good at restrictor plate racing as well. So will we see the 3 back in victory lane once again here tonight?
Well, it'll be 8 laps to go when they do get back around here. They are coming up right now on the number 11 of Ronald Brown. He is a lap down, running into the 13th position. That is multiple laps down. Right now he is 2. He'll be looking to go 3 laps down. We only have 8 cars on that lead lap, and the 24 of Jeff Gluckner is that final car on the lead lap here tonight. There you see him. He is sitting currently, it looks like about, call it 43 seconds back to the race leader, I believe that is. And man, that's almost a lap here at Talladega. So with 8 laps to go, Gluckner's going to see if he can get that PK Paints iRacing Drivers World number 24 up and away from your race leaders of Roy Fernandez and Donald Bennett with Tim Combs. They are single file. I don't know when they're going to start to race it out, Dave. Here at Talladega, I know it's still 8 laps to go, but at what point do you pull out a line?
Well, with this 3-car breakaway right here, I believe if I'm Donald Bennett, I'm going to test these waters here. I'm sitting in second. I have a potential pusher behind me. Let's see if he's willing to push me. Let me get a good run. Let me maybe lay back here coming into turn 1 and out of turn 2. Really get that run off and down the backstretch and try to make a move going into turn 3. And let's see if that 88's willing to go with me. Got to test the water, see if he's ready to go. It is still early, though, so he may not be willing to do it now, but you've got to see what the intentions of the drivers behind you are. And not just that, if I'm Bennett, make that move. See if Fernandez is willing to come up off the bottom of the track, and then maybe you can pull what a move I call the okey doke. You go out there to the outside, make them think that you're going out there to the high side, and then you drop it back down to that double yellow line, just getting the nose inside of that left rear quarter, and that will force the driver up on the outside to stay on the outside and not come back down and try to take that lead away. So out of these 3 drivers, I would really like to be Bennett right there, the meat and the sandwich, if you will, because he can control what he does best. He can block a run from that 88 behind him, and he can create a run for himself to try to take that race lead. So at this point in time, halfway down the backstretch, 6 laps remaining, Bennett's got to try something soon.
Gluckner is right out in front of your race leaders. Your race leaders are going to get a nice tow off that number 24. That will then only put 7 cars on the lead lap. And Bobby Peters, he's still out here trucking along in the Starcom Fiber entry, the main and tail, Rich Marflores. We got to thank Bobby for all he did behind the scenes leading up to this event here today and his whole group over there at Starcom. As Dave, we know it wouldn't be possible without Bobby and what these guys did behind the scenes. And, of course, Stephanie Moyer coming on board here tonight. She may have had a little bit of troubles on pit road. She is currently running back in 12th. We got to thank her also, as I believe she made her ARCA debut not too long ago. So congratulations to her and that whole gang for getting things going over there in the ARCA Menard Series. But we are on the Hi, how are you? 5 lap to go marker that time by at the start-finish line as they work back down the back straightaway. Roy Fernandez, Donald Bennett, Tim Combs, as Jeff Gluckner going to go a lap down there in the iRacing Drivers World number 24. He will be sitting 8th on the timing and scoring charts. 5 to go.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Got to give a big shout out to everybody that came together to put this together for not just a good friend and a colleague, but a great racing buddy and just all around great guy. Pedro, if you're out there listening and watching, we do miss you. We do wish you well, and hope to see you back very soon here on the track, whether it's on any day of the week, because we're on all the time live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. So gotta give everybody that was involved in this a big time shout out. Everybody back at Salt Flat Racing as well as Swift Motorsports. As you mentioned Bobby Peters doing a lot behind the scenes today to get a lot of stuff going, and a big time shout out to him and everything that he's done, as well as Stephanie Moyer taking time out of the busy schedule to jump on and support a good cause for a fellow member of the iRacing community. And as we get the 3 to go right here, Roger, that's one thing I've always noticed about everybody on iRacing is when somebody's in need, when somebody has some trouble, it doesn't matter if you're rival leagues, rival drivers, everybody always comes together to support each other. And I think that's one of the greatest things about driving here and knowing people on the iRacing.com platform is although it's heated, everybody's still right there to help you if you need it.
That's right, as we're on the Do It For Dale, 3 laps to go marker with Fernandez still leading the way. They're going to go around the number 99. Toby Byrne is now going to go a lap down. That'll leave just 6 drivers, and of course Gluckner's right there, so he'll take that spot. This time by, we're going to see the popsicle sticks go in the air. It's going to be 2 more times around the Talladega Super Speedway here tonight for Pedro, and Pedro, 2 laps to go tonight here in your name on the virtual Talladega Super Speedway. And what would it be? Wow. What will Roy Fernandez do to win this race? Are you going to throw that hellacious block on the last lap if Bennett pulls out?
If I'm Fernandez, absolutely. You're not getting around me. I'm doing this for myself. I'm doing it for my buddy. I'm doing it for Dale. You're not getting around me, and I'll run you all the way to the wall if I got to.
Well, let's see a little bit of jockeying back there. The 24 of Gluckner trying to keep that car behind him. That's the 99 of Toby Bird, as this time they're come through the tri-oval. Looks like, Dave, I'm going to knock on wood here because I'm going to say we are going to go 1 lap of racing here tonight at Talladega. It is 1 to go, and Roy Fernandez, I don't know if he's short on fuel or what, Dave. He just pulls to the outside. Here comes Bennett.
Yeah, pulling to the outside, going to go 3rd car in line now. He's able to slot himself in just behind that 88 of Combs, and I believe the back marker, I'm trying to see, that is not Gluckner. Gluckner's out there on the outside. I believe that's Toby Bird in the 99, but these drivers pitted right on the cusp of that fuel window, Roger. So with Fernandez leading a vast majority of this final segment right here, he very well may be on the cusp of running out, but now out of turn 4, back through the tri-oval. The 31 of Donald Bennett has the race lead. The 88 looks to the outside. Big block there by Bennett. He's going to drop back down to cover up Fernandez. And the 31 of Donald Bennett going to cross the line. Checkered flag. Bennett with the win.
Donald Bennett's going to win here with Roy Fernandez rebounding to go P number 2. Then it's Tim Combs, who's going to finish in that 4th position, though this group's coming off of turn number 4. Looks like Jimmy Reynolds is going to lead the Reynolds stables, as there's a huge shove from Hunter Jimmy's going to come across the line. He'll be fourth. Hunter Reynolds is going to be fifth. That'll be the final cars on the lead lap here tonight. Unofficial timing and scoring over on the left-hand side of your screen. Take a look at it, but right there is your race winner here tonight. And we are behind Pedro 175. Donald Bennett will park his Turn 3 Racing Network Bromley Designs Chevy Camaro in victory lane here tonight. Congratulations to Donald Bennett. Congratulations to Roy Fernandez and Tim Combs. And not just the drivers that finished on the podium here tonight. Congratulations to all drivers. We thank each and every one of them for coming out here tonight, for doing it for Pedro, as it was a great one, Dave. 70 laps here tonight, all green flag racing at the Talladega Superspeedway.
Yeah, and I had to take a minute, Roger, there and take a look back, see if there was any incident that maybe pushed that three of Fernandez up the track. And no, just it looked like maybe he was trying to bring the field up to the high side, and nobody went with him, and he just stayed out there, let the field go by, didn't stack him up or anything. But what a move there by Donald Bennett. He got that top spot, didn't look back, and, well, he led a handful of laps. He's going to burn it down on the front stretch and walk away with the checkered flag here tonight.
So as Donald Bennett does a little bit of celebrating here tonight at the Talladega Superspeedway, race fans, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to step away for just a moment. We're going to see if we can get a word in with our top three finishers here on the podium, and maybe we'll get some special guests for everybody. Race fans, don't go anywhere. Hear what these drivers have to say after a great battle here tonight at the Talladega Superspeedway.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12-Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Welcome back here, race fans, to the Talladega Superspeedway here tonight for the We Are Behind Pedro 175 iRacing charity event. We have finished the 70 laps that were scheduled here. Green to checkered racing here tonight on the iRacing.com platform. What a great race for a great cause it has been. It is time that we go down trackside, though, to get our podium finishers, our interviews in here tonight. Dave, I believe you're standing by with the driver out of Kutztown, Pennsylvania.
That's right, catching up with the race winner at a Keystone Motorsports Turn 3 Racing Network on the hood. Kind of impartial to that one. Donald Bennett, man, you got the job done. How good does it feel to walk away with a race win right here tonight?
It's always nice to win. To be honest with you, I didn't come out here to win. I just wanted to support the cause, help Pedro out, and just have a good time.
Well, Donna, we seen you back there in the second pack in the early portion of the race, the early going before that first green flag pit stop, and then we seen you and Roy kind of make your way towards the front during that second green flag run. At what point in time in the race did you think you may have a shot at this? And that last lap, tell us how that whole thing went down.
I'm gonna say really it came down to just pit strategy, getting in and out, hitting your pit box. I worked with Roy. I raced with him quite often, and Cody and Tim. So it really just came down to pit strategy. And as of the last lap, Roy, I think Roy gave it to me. He didn't have to. I was very content running it right to the end and pushing him to the win. So.
Well, nonetheless, man, you walked away with the checkered flag here tonight. You walked away with the race win right here at Talladega Super Speedway. So before we let you go and enjoy the rest of your celebrations, would you like to give any shout out, special thanks, or love yous? Thank anybody else on the side of that 31?
Yeah, always. First, I want to thank my wife for allowing me to come back here, as always, and run and putting up my shenanigans on iRacing. And I definitely want to thank my sponsors, Turn 3, Bromley Designs, you guys up in the booth, Roy for putting on this show, Salt Flat, Swift, and of course, Pedro, man. I can't even imagine what you went through, and I sincerely hope you get better. It'll be awesome. Maybe we can get you out here into one of these cars and run.
All right. Well, once again, my man, congratulations with the race win here tonight. We are behind Pedro 175. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think, Roger, you've had an opportunity to catch up with the Cuban Missile himself.
Yeah, standing by right here, the driver of the number 3 out of Lansing, Michigan. Roy, it's going to be a P number 2 here tonight. How hard was it coming down to the end of this one as you were the race leader, as you were bearing down on that white flag?
Yeah, it was hard, man. These cars, the draft package I got going on with the bubble, you can't really get that close to their bumper. It just kind of pushes you away a little bit. So it definitely was rough trying to catch up, but I wanted to put on a good finish for the fans, for everyone tuning in and watching. So we had pretty much almost 3 wide there right at the end. So I was pretty happy with that finish and green flag racing.
Green flag racing. It came down to green flag pit stops here tonight. You had to make 3 of them. Speeds upwards of 200 miles an hour, all the way down to 65 miles an hour, I believe it was here tonight on pit road. How hard is it to whoa these machines up?
I'll tell you what, it's not easy, man. It's so difficult. I mean, you're losing about 150 miles per hour within less than 100 yards. It's difficult. You definitely gotta have communication with everyone that's drafting in front of you. You get bunched up and everyone gets together. You start smacking people's rear ends. Fortunately, the guys that we all went into, we were like, hey, let's go high, let's go low, let's go high, let's go low. Kind of stagger it up. So it was definitely a good pit strategy and entries that we had with the team. So I was definitely satisfied with that, and it paid off at the end.
Yeah, a lot of talent out here within this field here tonight of drivers here at the Talladega Super Speedway. But Roy, tonight wasn't just about you getting behind the wheel of this Simbox number 3. It was for your friend Pedro. Pedro's, we hope he's doing better right now. What's the update that you have for us here tonight?
Yeah, Pedro's doing phenomenal, man. He's able to stand up a couple of times. He was able to take a few baby steps and actually walk slightly. So he's definitely getting his motor skills and everything back. So it's awesome to see he's making phenomenal progress from just 1 week. So he's doing great. He's watching, he's tuning in, he's getting all of this positive feedback from everyone and words of encouragement. And it's great to see him do what he does. And he's a heck of a lot stronger than I am. So I'm proud of him.
Well, Pedro, we hope you're tuning in here tonight, and we wish you the best of wishes. Roy, how about this, though? We were wondering this during the call here tonight. The dog, Pedro's puppy dog. Has Pedro been able to see the puppy?
Unfortunately, he has not yet, but as soon as he gets out of that physical therapy room, he'll definitely be able to see Rakeem. But hopefully, we got him a blanket with Rakeem's face on it, so he can keep that at least at the physical therapy room with him, and maybe just hang it up if he gets, if he can't use the blanket too much, but I'm definitely has not seen the puppy yet, unfortunately.
Well, that's unfortunate. We know puppies do a whole lot for the healing process and being just positive going forward. Roy, it's been a great race here tonight. We know there's a lot of people behind the scenes that made this all possible, not just for you finishing second here tonight. So we're going to step back here. We're going to hand you the microphone, and the floor is yours, my friend.
Well, I want to thank all the drivers that came out, everyone that donated and supported this charity here for Pedro. I'm beyond blessed and grateful that you guys all were able to and do everything you guys were able to do for Pedro. So I really appreciate that. I know Pedro and his family is definitely appreciating it. So thank you for all the drivers. Thank you to Turn 3 Network for broadcasting us. Thank you to Swift Motorsports for allowing me to host this forum. Thank you to Salt Flat. And most importantly, I got to thank Pedro for doing what he's doing and getting better, and he's going to be in a lot better place here shortly. And last but not least, the wife upstairs. She makes it all happen.
Well, that's the smartest man out there, race fans. Roy Fernandez is going to thank the wife, but also thanking and throwing support behind his friend Pedro. And Pedro, once again, we hope you're doing well. There is your second place finisher low of Roy Fernandez, the driver out of Lansing, Michigan. He comes home P number 2. Finishing P number 3, but it doesn't look like we have radio communication with him. That's the driver out of Ohio. That's the driver of the Hellcat, ZL1 Chevrolet. It's the 88 of Tim Combs. He was right there at the end of this one, biting for a spot here in the top 2, but he will finish in our 3rd position. Those are our top 3 finishers here tonight as Donald Bennett wins here at the Talladega Super Speedway, with Roy Fernandez finishing 2nd and Tim Combs coming home P number 3. We have a couple special guests, though, joining us here at the end of our broadcast here tonight. It's the driver of that 00 of Bobby Peters. Peters, a little bit of a rough one here tonight, but we got to thank you not just for showing up here on track, but everything you did behind the scenes tonight.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I tried to do as much as I could to help Roy out, and that was a tough race for Stephanie and I. She missed the gears at the start, and it kind of sunk us.
A lot of times, though, here at Talladega, we possibly get the big one. Unfortunately, the big one never came here. What happened down on pit road a couple times? We saw you look like Austin Powers down there in the movie, in the golf cart.
Oh, my God. So I pulled a rookie mistake. I hit the clutch instead of the brake. And after I did it the second time, I'm like, come on. I was like, this is getting ridiculous. So the third time, I was good.
Well, it's all in fun here tonight. Of course, this is virtual racing here on the iRacing.com platform. So we live, we learn, and we have some fun, and we get to go at it another day here virtually at least. And, the great thing is here in 5 minutes, you can go join another lobby and redeem yourself.
Right. I know I want to give a shout out to Starcom Racing, Rich Mark Forrest. I appreciate everything that those guys have done. Main and Tail, they're usually on the car. Starcom Fiber was on the car tonight. But Alicia Cope, Derek Cope, Gabriella, I know you guys are watching. My mom, I know she's watching. Thank you guys. Obviously, thanks to my girlfriend, Adrian, for letting me do this tonight. It was overall fun, and Stephanie did a great job pushing, and we worked together the whole race. So I appreciate it. And Roy, great job. And the fundraiser was awesome.
Well, Bobby, congratulations, and we thank you once again for coming out here tonight to the virtual Talladega Super Speedway to join us for a little bit of iRacing fun. We got to thank the whole group over at Starcom and Main and Tail, I believe, for helping out here tonight and doing everything they could to make this event just a little bit better. One final standby here. It's the driver of the number 12 out of Pennsylvania. It's the 12 of Stephanie Moyer. Stephanie, maybe not the greatest start here at Talladega, but tell us about the event here.
So, Bobby, I am so sorry. I did miss the shift on the start, and I forgot to clarify with him. I'm still learning on iRacing. It's a complete whole new ball game for me. So I'm still learning, and you know what? I'm just happy I didn't wreck out, to be honest with you, because it's a little rough for me, and I'm using a wheel that I'm not used to. So it's still learning, Daytona with drafting, or Talladega with drafting, and then playing with this wheel. It's a lot.
How different is it hopping out of the Arca Menards car here onto the iRacing.com platform into a ZL1 Cup car?
I feel like it's a little different. I mean, I'm so used to the Arca car on here to where the Cup car feels like it's set a lot better. Like it doesn't make it feel like it's a dump truck driving. So it's actually really nice. I do enjoy it. I go on, the Cup cars as much as I can, but right now I'm still working with the Arca car.
What's coming up next for you in the Moyer Racing group out there? Where are we going next?
We are on our way to Nashville on Saturday, May 8th, and we are going to work with what we have. I've been putting countless hours in on iRacing at Nashville Fairgrounds, praying to God that we could pick up this line because I'm having such a tough time.
Well, it is a little rough track down there. A lot of history down there at the Nashville Fairgrounds, though. We do wish you well in your next race coming up here, Stephanie, but we're handing you the microphone. We know there's people that are backing you out there that are tuning in tonight.
Yeah, thank you. I want to give a shout out to my sponsors for Nashville. We have Affordable Notary and Car Sales here in Pennsylvania, DeLucas Towing and Auto Repair, the Flying Aces Motorcycle Club, and my actual home track, Evergreen Raceway, will be on the hood for this race.
Well, Evergreen, not too far from our home studios here for the Turn 3 Racing Network. But, Stephanie, we wish you the best going forward in your racing career. We hope to see you again here shortly.
Thank you very much. And I do want to give a big shout out to Pedro. All prayers are coming to you, buddy. I hope for a speedy recovery.
Well, there you hear from Stephanie Moyer. Comes home here tonight in that 12th position. Dave, that pretty much sums it up for the interview portion of this one. How about you sum it up for us here tonight at the Talladega Superspeedway?
Yeah, that pretty much puts everything in a wrap, ready to just roll through the final official results and standings. As we already know, our top three finishers here tonight walking away with a race win. Donald Bennett, Roy Fernandez going to finish in a solid second. The 88 of Tim Combs walking away in third. Jimmy Reynolds, Hunter Reynolds rounds out your top five. Toby Bird, Jeff Glockner, Cody Sleeper, John Peel, and Todd Cray back there in the 10th position. Bobby Peters walking away in 11th. Stephanie Moyer going to finish in the 12 machine in the 12th position. Ronald Brown back there in 13th. 14th of Robert Gillard. David Cameron finishing tonight's race in 15th. Larry Poling walking away from the track back in 16th. Billy Milner, as well as Gary Wells and Andy Starcher, only driver out there not able to get out on the track. So some tough trouble there getting the car ready to go racing here tonight for that 19 crew. And with all that being said, Roger, one more final shout out to everybody that had a hand in putting on tonight's We Are Behind Pedro 175. Everybody back at Swift Motorsports, Salt Flat Racing right here at the Turn 3 Racing Network, as well as Starcom Fiber and Starcom Fiber Racing. Big shout out to John, Lisa, Phoebe, Johnny, and Adrian, also behind the scenes working some things out, getting things ready to go here tonight for the We Are Behind Pedro 175. So a big tip of the cap and a thank you to each and every one of you. And as we've already mentioned multiple times, Pedro, buddy, if you're out there watching, we miss you. Can't wait for you to get back on track. All our thoughts and prayers are with you for a speedy recovery. And Roger, man, another great one in the books for us here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. And, well, not much left after that.
Yeah, the only thing that we have left on the docket here tonight, other than thanking all you race fans, as Dave has said, is we have reached our goal, Dave, and it's great. All you race fans, all you drivers, all the competitors, all the sponsors that are behind this event. We have made our goal for $600. If you are still interested, though, in supporting or helping out the cause here for being behind Pedro, reach out to Roy Fernandez. He can get you pointed into the right direction. But for everybody here with Swift Motorsports, Salt Flat Racing, everybody over at Richmar Florence Racing, everybody over at Starcom Fiber, we thank you for tuning in here tonight on the Turn 3 Racing Network. My name is Roger Muth. That is David Whirl. We can't wait to see you at the races.